Hi everyone, welcome to TESPERT India. So, in this session, we will be delving into ratios and proportions. So, what does a ratio mean? Just think about it. So, you all might have some idea regarding ratios and proportions, but what exactly ratio mean? So, ratio means a comparison between any two quantities, right, which has same value, which has same magnitude. So, two quantities when compared in terms of magnitude, that comparison is known as a ratio, right? So, for instance, a ratio between any two quantities or two or more quantities tells us that the one quantity is how many times the other quantity, right? So, we can express a ratio as A is to B, right? So, anything we can express a ratio, any ratio as A is to B if we compare two quantities. What if we compare three or more than three quantities? We will express like this: A is to B is to C and so on, right? So A is to B can also be written as A by B. So A is to B is as equal as A by B. So in A by B, the first one is known as antecedent. So in A is to B, the first one, which is A, right, the first value is known as antecedent, and the second value is known as consequent, right? So let's say you have 5 chocolates, right? You have 5 chocolates and your friend has 10 chocolates, right? So what's the ratio of number of chocolates between your friend and you, right? So 5 is to 10. If we simplify this, then it will be 1 is to 2. So in 1 is to 2, 1 is known as the antecedent and 2 is known as the consequent, right? So we will look into some basic properties of ratios and then we will move to the proportions. So the value of a ratio doesn't change when the numerator and denominator both are multiplied by same quantities. Let's take this example. So if 5 by 10, right, 5 by 10 is the ratio. So the value of a ratio doesn't change when the numerator and denominator, so the both are when both are multiplied by same quantities. So let's say we are multiplying the numerator with 2 and the denominator with 2, right? So what is the new value? The current value 5 into 2, which is 10, 10 into 2, which is 20, right? So here the ratio is 5 by 10, right, which is equal to 1 by 2. So here this is also 1 by 2, right? So when a number is multiplied with the numerator as well as the denominator, so when the same number is multiplied with the numerator and the denominator, then the ratio doesn't change, right? So the next property is the value of a ratio doesn't change when the numerator and denominator both are divided by the same quantities. So here we multiplied with 2. So what if we divide that with some number? Let's say we divide 5 by 10, the numerator and denominator, with same number, let's say 5. So we divided the numerator with 5 and also we divided the denominator with 5. So before division, what was the ratio? 5 by 10 means 1 by 2, right? So after division, it will be 5 by 5 divided by 10 by 5. So 5 get cancelled, and 5 2s are 10, so 1 is to 2. Is there any change in the ratio? No, absolutely no. So when you are dividing or multiplying anything, okay, any ratio, when you are dividing the numerator and denominator with the same number, then at a point of time the ratio will be same, right? Compounded ratio and triplicate ratio. Okay, so what is meant by compounded ratio? When two or more than two ratios, right, when two or more than two ratios are multiplied with each other, then it is known as a compounded ratio. Let's say we have a by b, right, and we have x by y, right? So if we multiply these two, okay, you can also take numerical values. Let's say we have 3 by 5, and right, we have 2 by 6. See, we have two. When two or more than two ratios, here we are considering two ratios, because at least we must consider two ratios, right? We can also take one more ratio, 1 by 8, let's say, right? So when we multiply these three or these two, then this will be a compounded ratio, right? So in English, what is meant by a compound sentence? So any sentence, if two or more sentences are joined, linked, right, linked with and or any other conjunction, right? So those are known as compound sentences. So here too, compound ratio means if two ratios, right, two different ratios, if they are multiplied, two or more ratios, if they are multiplied, then it is known as compounded ratio. What if the two ratios are the same? Let's say, see here in the first case we are multiplying 3 by 5 and 2 by 6, right? These two are different ratios, right? So if we are multiplying like this, if we are multiplying 3 by 5 with 3 by 5, the same ratio, if we are multiplying like this, then this is also known as a compounded ratio, but it has got one more name, which is a duplicate ratio, right? A duplicate ratio. See here, when the ratio is compounded with itself, right, so it is being compounded with itself, then it is known as a duplicate ratio. What is meant by triplicate ratio? Well, if you multiply with one more 3 by 5, right, so this is known as a triplicate ratio, right? So if we are multiplying with different ratios, then that's a compounded ratio. Any compounded ratio which is multiplied multiplied with itself for 2 times, then it's a duplicate ratio. For 3 times, then it's a triplicate ratio, right? Let's solve some basic models as far as ratios are concerned. So Akhil earns rupees 10,000 per month and Ramesh earns rupees 15,000 per month. Find the ratio of Akhil's salary to Ramesh's salary. Right. So just solve it. You will solve definitely. So here what is given? Akhil's salary is 10,000 per month, right? It's 10,000. So Ramesh's salary is 15,000, right? So we are asked to find out this ratio of Akhil's salary to Ramesh's salary, because when we are asked to find out Akhil's salary first, then we have to mention the value of Akhil first, right? After that we are to find out the Ramesh salary also. Then after that Ramesh will come, right? So just solve. So 2 is to 3. So this is the salary ratio of the salary of Akhil and Ramesh, right? The ratio between the present ages of A and B is 5:8. After 4 years, the ratio between their ages will be 2:3. But what is the age of B? Present age of B. Okay. So what is the ratio of present age? So here A by B. So what is the ratio? 5 is to 5 is to 8, which is 5 by 8, right? So after 4 years, the ratio between their ages will be 2:3. So after 4 in the sense, so it will be 5x 8x. So after 4 years, 5x plus 4 years by 8x plus 4 years, right? The ages will be 2:3. That means 2 by 3. So just cross multiply. 3 into 5x plus 4 is equal to 2 into 8x plus 4. So here x is equal to 4, but we are asked to find out the age of B, present age of B. So what is the ratio here, 5x and 8x? So this 8x resembles B. So 8x B's age, right? 8x. So 8x 8 into 4, x we got 4, right? So 24 years is the age of B. So try to simplify the following ratios. The first one is 1 by 6 is to 1 by 8. So how can we solve it? 1 by 6 is to 1 by 8, right? So what is the meaning of this? 1 by 6 is to 1 by 8. 1 by 6 is to 1 by 8 means 1 by 6 divided by 1 by 8, right? So if we write any ratio like 1 like A is to B, then what is the meaning of this? A by B, right? So is to mean instead of writing this, we will be writing divided by, right? So in the same way, instead of this, we can write it, we can divide this two ratios, right? So 1 by 6 by 1 by 8, which is equal to 1 by 6 into 8 by 1, because the denominator will become reciprocal of itself. So 1 by 8 becomes the reciprocal of itself and becomes 8 by 1. So simplify this. So the final simplified ratio is 4:3. Okay. So second one, 2 1 by 3 is to 3 1 by 2. So this is in of mixed fraction, right? 2 1 by 3 and 3 1 by 2. So these are in mixed fractions. So convert them into improper fraction. So 3 2s are 6, 6 plus 1, 7 by 3 is to 7 by 2, right? So again the same method, this one. So 7 by 3 into 2 by 7. So cancel it and the final ratio is 2:3. Now third one, 5 by 6 is to 3 by 8 is to 3 by 4. This is not power, 3 by 4. This is a mixed fraction. So convert this 3 by 4 into improper fraction. 15 by 4. 4 3s are 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 by 4, right? So 5 by 6 is to 3 by 8 is to 15 by 4. So how can we solve this? Take LCM of the denominators, LCM of 6, 8 and 4. what will be the LCM? The LCM is 24, right? So let me erase this. So the LCM of 6, 8 and 4 is 24. So we can multiply each and every fraction with that LCM. Suppose 6, 8 and 4. The LCM is 24, right? So multiply this and this and this. So multiply 5 by 6 with 24 is 2. 5 by 3 by 8 into 24 is 2. 15 by 4 into 24, right? So just solve it. 20 is to 9 is to 90. So this is the simplified ratio. So 20 is to 9 is to 90 is as equal as 5 by 6 is to 3 by 8 is to 3 by 4, right? So whenever you find more than two ratios, you can just take the LCM of the denominators, and that LCM must be multiplied with each and every ratio so that you get a simplified ratio. So this is how you calculate the ratios, right? Different types of ratios. You simplify the ratios. So try to solve this. Pause the video. Okay. Divide 14 toffees among Ankita and Anshul in the ratio 5:2. So we have 14 toffees here, right? 14 toffees. And we have to divide between Ankita and Anshul. Okay. So in what ratio? Ankita and Anshul in 5:2. 5:2. Okay. So what we do here is, if we want to find out the Ankita's part, right? So we will write the share of her 5 by, what is the total part here? 5 plus 2, right? 5 plus 2 into how many are there? 14 toffees, right? Into 14. So 5 by 7 into 14, which is equal to 10. So 10 toffees. Ankita gets 10 toffees and Anshul gets 14 minus 10 toffees, which are 4 toffees, right? So directly we subtracted total number of toffees minus the toffees which Ankita gets, right? But if we want to separately calculate with this, so how can we? So if we want to find out Anshul's toffees, how much he get, okay, he gets how much, how many toffees he gets. So we can calculate like this. The ratio, so what is his part? 5:2, 2, right? So 2 by total parts 5 plus 2, 7 into total number of total quantity here, which is, it is 14. So 2 to the 4, right? So 4 we got. So instead of doing this, already we calculated Ankita's part, so we directly subtracted the total trophies and this one, right? 3 boys are aged 2 years, 4 years and 8 years. They want to divide 70 rupees in the ratio of their ages. How much money would each get? Okay, we have 3 boys. Let's name all of them A, B and C, right? So A, B and C are 3 boys. What are the ratios of their ages? A 2 years, B 4 years and C 8 years, right? So 8 is to 4 is to 8. 2 is to 4 is to 8. So simplify them. 2 ones are 2 twos are 2 fours are. So 1 is to 2 is to 4 is the simplified ratio. So they want to divide 70 rupees they want to divide among themselves in this ratio, in the ratio of their ages. This is the ratio of their ages, right? So in this ratio they want to divide this 70 rupees among themselves. So what is A's part? A's part is 1 by total number of parts, 4 plus, that is 1 plus 2 plus 4, total, right? 1 plus 2 plus 4 into, what is the total quantity here? 70, right? So 1 by 7 into 70, which is equal to 10. So 10 rupees, A gets 10 rupees. Let us calculate for B. So B, here what is his part? 2 by total 1 plus 2 plus 4, right? 1 plus 2 plus 4 into total quantity 70, right? So calculate 2 by 7 into 70, which is equal to 2 into 10, that is equal to 20 rupees. So B gets 20 rupees. What about C? C's part is equal to 4, right? 4 by total number of parts, 1 plus 2 plus 4, 1 plus 2 plus 4 into total quantity, which is 70, right? 70, it is equal to 4 by 7 into 70, that is equal to 4 into 10, so 40 rupees. So C gets 40 rupees. So in order to check whether this what we did is correct or not, just add it, 40 plus 20 plus 10. So total shares just we must add. So 40 plus 20 plus 10, which is equal to 70. So 70 is equal to 70, right? So in this way you can divide, you can calculate the respective shares of anyone. Here we divided, we calculated for 3 boys. In this way you can calculate for n number of guys, if that ratio and the total quantity is given, right? So divide 1224 into 3 parts such that the first part should be double that of second part, and second part should be 1/3 of the third part, right? So here 1 2 4, 1 2 2 4, so, right, 1 2 2 4 must be divided into 3 parts such that the first part must be double that of second part. So here we have 3 parts, right? A is to B is to C, right? So A is to, so here the first part must be double that of second part, right? So the first part must be double. So if B is, let's say, X, right? The first part must be double that of second part. So A must be double that of B. So A must be 2x, right? What about the third part? The second part should be 1/3 of the third part, right? Second part must be 1/3 of the third part. So if C is 3x, then B must be x, right? So if C is 3x, then B is 1/3 of C, and A is double that of B, right? So here we must divide this one in this ratio, right? So here we will calculate A is to B is to C is equal to 2 is to 1 is to 3, right? So A is equal to, calculate what is the part of A here, as we calculated in the previous slide, 2 by total parts, 2 plus 1 plus 3 into, what is the total quantity here, total value 1 2 2 4. So calculate 2 by 6 into 1 2 2 4, which is equal to 408, right? And calculate for the second one, calculate for B. What is the B? B is a part 1 here. 1 by total value, 2 plus total parts, 2 plus 1 plus 3 into 1 2 2 4, right? So 1 by 6 into 1 2 2 4, that is equal to 204, right? Calculate for C in the same manner. What is C's part? Here 3, right? So 3 by total parts, sum of total parts, 2 plus 1 plus 3 into 1 2 2 4, which is equal to 6 6 1 2. Okay, so if you add this and this, we will get 1 2 2 4. So let's add whether we are getting the same value or not. 408, right? So this is 4 and this one is 2, 10 11 and 12. See, this one and this one is both are equal. So we divided this 1 2 2 4, nothing extra, okay, nothing beyond this. We divided this in the ratio of this condition. What is the condition? That the first part must be double that of second part, which is A must be double that of B, and the second part must be 1/3 of third part, right? So C is 3 times more than B. Otherwise, in other words, B is 1/3 of C, right? If A is to B is equal to 3 is to 4, B is to C is equal to 5 is to 2, then find the value of A is to B is to C, right? So A is to B is equal to 3 is to 4, right? So B is to C is equal to 5 is to 2. Find the value of A is to B is to C, right? So if we observe here, the value of A is 3. 3 in the sense not 3, 3x, right? 3x. See, in ratios, let's say you have the ratio of chocolates that you and your friend and you have are, the ratio is 3 is to 5. So this is your friend's ratio and this is your ratio, right? So 3 is to 5. The ratio of chocolates that you have is 3 is to 5. That means how many chocolates do you have? It doesn't mean that your friend has 3 chocolates and you have 5 chocolates. It doesn't mean like this, right? So it can be 3 into 10 and 5 into 10, which is 30 into 40, 30 and 50, or it can also be 6 and 10. Why? Because if we simplify these two, we arrive at 3 is to 5. This is the simplified form, right? Because let's say 3 is to 5 is as equal as 300 is to 500, right? So even though you have 300 and 500 chocolates, the ratio will be 3 is to 5. Even if you have 30 chocolates and 50 chocolates, the ratio will be 3 is to 5. So we cannot exactly predict the number of exact quantity that you have by looking at the ratio. So we don't know the exact value. To find the exact value, we must know the total quantity, right? So that we will divide and we will find the individual values, right? As we done in the previous slides. So here the question is, these values are given and we have to find the ratio of all the three. A is to all three values. A is to B is to C. So A's value is 3 here, B's value is 4 here, B's value is here 5 again, C's value is 2 here, right? So B's value got changed. B is same, but the value got changed here. The first value of B is 4, but the second value of B is 5, right? We have 4 here, we have 5 here, but the same B is in both the cases. So we must equalize this. How can we equalize this? Unless we equalize this, we cannot calculate all the values, right? The ratio of all the values. So do one thing. Here we have two approaches. We can multiply this 5 with this one, right, with this ratio, and we can multiply this 4 with this one, the second ratio. So now what happens here is 5 3 is a 15 is to 5 4 is a 20, 5 4 is a 20 is to 4 2 is a 8. Now what happened? The value of B is same now, right? So the ratio of A, B and C is 15 is to 20 is to 8. However, you can also do this. Here we have 3, 4, 5, 2, right? So you can multiply like this. This is the first step, this is the second step, and this is the third step. So 3, 5, 3 into 5 is to, now go diagonally, right? 5 into 4, 5 into 4 is to 4 into 5, 4 into 2, right? So one is downwards, the second is diagonally, and third one is again downwards, like this. First one, second one, and third one, right? This is the first step, this is the second step, this is the third step. You can follow this one, either this one or this one, anyone you can follow this. So now what do we get? 5 3 is a 15 is to 5 4 is a 20 is to 5 2 is a 8. So directly we got this, right? So anything we can follow, right? So the ratio of salary of A is to B is equal to 1 is to 2, B is to C is equal to 3 is to 4, C is to D is equal to 5 is to 6, and D is to E is equal to 7 is to 8. What is the ratio of salary of A and E? Okay, so we have A is to B is equal to 1 is to 2, right? B is to C is equal to 3 is to 4, and C is to D is equal to 5 is to 6, D is to E is equal to 7 is to 8. Now we have all the values, but all the values are not the same in common, but the value is not common, right? Here the value of B is 2x, and here the value of B is 3x, and here the value of C is 4x, and here the value of C is 5x. Here the value of D is 6x, and here the value of D is 7x. So the values are different. So we must neutralize this, right? So how can we do? We can follow the same method. 1 is to 2, 3 is to 4, 5 is to 6, 7 is to 8. So in previous slide we calculated this in this, right? So like this we followed this method. So we follow the same method here, but there will be some change. The first step here is calculate all these values, right, from top to bottom, which is 1 into 3 into 5 into 7. So this is for A, okay? For B, take this 2, right, the first value, and come down like this. Let me erase this. Yeah, 5 and 7, right? So the value of B is 2, come down the line, 2 into 3 into 5 into 7. For B we have taken 2 and all the values in the left side except the first value. So for C, take the first two values and come down, right? So the value of C is 2 into 4 into 5 into 7. And what's the value of D? So for D, take the first 3 values and then come down the line. So the value is 2 into 4 into 6 into 7. And what is the value of E? For E, you can directly multiply all these, right? So 2 into 4 into 6 into 8. Have you understood? See, let me explain you one more time. For A, you can calculate the value by multiplying the left hand side, right? All the antecedents, right? All the antecedents, because this is the first value. For the last value, you can multiply all the consequents, right? For first and last, it is clear, right? But what about the middle values, B, C and D? For B, just take the first value and all the 3 values, right? For C, take the first 2 values and these values. For D, take the first 3 values and this value. See here, if one is increasing, this one will get decreased. For B, what happened? We took this value, right? So we didn't calculate the first value. We calculated the remaining values, right? So for C, what happened? We calculated the first 2 values and we didn't calculate here first 2 values. We calculated the remaining values. For D, we calculated first 3 and this value. For E, we calculated all this because nothing is left here, right? So hope you understood this method, right? So what is the ratio of salary of A and E? So find the values here. A is equal to, multiply 1 into 3 into 5 into 7, which is equal to 105. B is equal to 210. C is equal to, let me write it here, C is equal to 280 and D is equal to 336 and E is equal to 384. But here we must find the ratio of A and E. So what is A? 105. What is E? 384, right? So 105 is to 384. A is to E. Okay. So 105 is to 384. 35 is to 128. So calculate and you will get 35 is to 128. So the monthly incomes of A and B are in the ratio 4 is to 3 and their savings are in the ratio 3 is to 2. If the expenditure of each, right, expenditure of A and B will be rupees 600, then the monthly incomes of each are, right? So we know that the income, right, the total income is equal to expenditure plus the total savings, right? Total income is equal to total expenditure plus the total savings, right? So what is the total income of A? Income of A is equal to 4x, right? 4x is equal to expenditure. What is the expenditure? This is the saving, right? 3x and 2x. What is the expenditure? 600 plus, what is the saving of A? 3y. See, for income we are taking it as x, and for savings we are taking it as y. What about B? Income of B is equal to 3x, right? Savings is 2y and expenditure remains same. So 600 plus 2y. So just simplify this. 4x minus 3y is equal to 600 and 3x minus 2y is equal to 600. So this one is equal to 600, right? So this one is also equal to 600, so we can equate these two values, right? So 4x minus 3y is equal to 3x minus 2y, right? So simplify this, x minus, so x is equal to y. So x is equal to y, so x will be equal to 600, right? So what is the income of A here? Income of A 4x and income of B 3x. So income of A is equal to 4 into 600, that is equal to 2400, whereas income of B is equal to 3x, that is equal to 3 into, what is the value of x? 600, right? So 600, that is equal to 1800. So income of A and B are 2400 and 1800 respectively. There are 43,800 students in 4 schools of a city. If half of the first, 2/3 of the second, 3/4 of the third, and 4/5 of the fourth are the same number of students, then find the ratio of number of students of A and D if A, B, C, and D be the first, second, third, and fourth schools respectively. So here we have 4 schools, right? 4 schools. Let us name them as A, B, C, and D, right? A, B, C, and D. This is the first school, this second, third, and fourth school, because see here it's given A, B, C, and D be the first, second, third, and fourth school respectively, right? So respectively means we have to take that in the same order. Okay, so A is the first school, B is the second, C is the third, and D is the fourth school. Okay, still what is given? If half of the first, so half of the first school, half of A, and 2/3 of the second, 2 by 3, 2/3 of the second school, 3/4 of the third, 3/4 of the third school, which is C, 4/5 of the fourth, 4/5 of the fourth school, that is D, are the same number of students. So all the students from these schools are equal, so just equate. Okay, so what is the value? A. Okay, so to find out the values of A by B, right, B by C, and C by D, how can we calculate these values? Just cross multiply. So A by B is equal to 3 by 4 by 3. 2 2s are 4, 3 1s are 3, right? So B by C is equal to 3 3s are 9 and 4 2s are 8, right? And C by D is equal to 4 4s are 16, 5 3s are 15, right? So here we have A is to B as 4 is to 3, B is to C we have as 9 is to 8, and C is to D we have 16 is to 15. So this is similar to the model that we solved in previous slides. So here the values of B are different, here 3 and here 9. Values of C are also different, here 8 and here 16, right? So how can we equate them? Same model. So to calculate A, right, multiply all the antecedents, 4 into 9 into 16. To calculate B, take one consequent and all the remaining two antecedents, so 3 into 9 into 16. To calculate the value of C, This is the order, right? 3 into 8 into 16. And what's the value of d? D will be equal to all the consequence, 3 into 8 into 15. So by now I think you must be familiar with this method. If you are not familiar, then I will be explaining you one more time. So this is the first order, right? And then see, if we have 3, A, B and C, this is the first. To calculate the value of A, B, C, here X, Y, Z, right? Again we take this value and these two values. To calculate C, we take these two values and this value. To calculate the value of D, we take all these values. For A, all these values, that is all the antecedents. For B, for D, all the consequents. And for remaining values, pick up one value and 2 from here, 1 from here, and remaining 2 from here and 1 from here, and all the 3 from this, right? So we need to find out the ratio of number of students of A and D. So A is to D is equal to, what is 4 into 9 into 16? 576. 576 is to, what is the value of D? 3 into 8 into 15. 3 into 8 into 15 is equal to 360. 360. So simplify this, we will get A is to D as 8 is to 5. Proportion. So till now we discussed the meaning of ratio and we solved some basic questions as far as ratios are concerned. So what is meant by proportion? Proportion means equalizing two ratios, right? So if I say A is to B and C is to D are equal, right? So this is the meaning of proportion. And how can we denote, how can we express, what is the symbol of proportion? This is the symbol, right? So A is to B as C is to D. And how can we spell this? How can we spell this symbol? As. So A is to B, you know how to spell this, and you also know how to spell this. A is to B and C is to D, right? So this one we can spell as, we must spell as. So A is to B as C is to D. So what's the meaning of this? These two ratios are equal, right? So if we project like this, A is to B as C is to D, these two, what are these two? These two are means, right? B and C are means. What about A and D? What about these two values? These two, A and D. These two are known as extremes, right? These two are extremes. So product of means is equal to product of extremes. So B into C is always equal to A into D. So this is the product of means and this is the product of extremes. So remember this. So if we say that four members A, B, C, D are in proportion. So sorry, this is not members, this is numbers. NUMBERS, yes. So if we say four numbers A, B, C, D are in proportion, what does this mean? So A is to B as C is to D. Here the product of means is equal to product of extremes. So some properties of proportion: if four numbers are in proportion, then the product of extremes is equal to product of means. So if we say that A, B and C, D, okay, A is to B and C is to D are in proportion, then this product, that is the product of means, will be equal to these product of extremes. So B into C is equal to A into D. What is the second property? If A, B and C are three numbers such that A is to B is equal to B is to C, then these numbers A, B, C are said to be continued proportion, right? So if A is to B is equal to B is to C, then these are known as continued proportion. A is to B is equal to B is to C. So how can we further calculate this? B into B and A into C, because product of extremes is equal to product of means. Why? This is in a proportion, right? So this is a proportion, but continued proportion. So we can calculate as the product of means is equal to product of extremes, which is equal to B square is equal to AC. B square is equal to AC. In numerical form, we can write it like this as 3 is to 9 as 9 is to 27, right? So if we consider A is to B as 3 is to 9 and B is to C as 9 is to 27. So here B and B are equal, here 9 and 9 are equal. So if we apply this, product of means, that is 9 into 9 is equal to product of extremes, 27 into 3. So 9 9 so 81 and 27 into 3 is 81, right? Invertendo, alternando, componendo and dividendo. Yes. So what is meant by invertendo? So if we consider two ratios A, B, C and D. So if A by B is equal to C by D, right? Then we can say that B by A is equal to D by C. This is known as invertendo. See here, A by B is becoming B by A, right? And C by D becomes D by C. So what is meant by alternando? If A by B, right? If A by B is equal to C by D, then how can we express A by C is equal to B by D? So here we are taking, so just to remember, I am telling this, A, we are taking the alternate of this, A, C and B and D. So A by C is equal to B by D, right? So this is known as alternando. What is meant by componendo? If A by B is equal to C by D, then A plus B, right? A plus B by B is equal to C plus D by D, right? A plus B by B is equal to C plus D by D. What is dividendo? If A by B is equal to C by D, then A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D. In componendo, we sum up, right? We sum both the values. In dividendo, we subtract, right? So what about componendo and dividendo? A plus b, so that means we are dividing these two. So the final value becomes a plus b by a minus b, which is equal to c plus d by c minus d. So how did we arrive at this? So this is the componendo and dividendo rule. But how did we arrive? So componendo, we are dividing this componendo and dividendo, we are dividing. So if we divide these two, this b and b get cancelled and d get cancelled. So we remain with, we are left with a plus b and a minus b. Here we have written c plus d and c minus d, right? So we will apply this in our upcoming problems. So just to remember, you can just refer and just solve this problem. Just pause the video and try to solve. The ratio between the number of men and women in an office is 5:7. So we have men as 5x and women as 7x. If the number of women working in the office is 56, find the number of men working in the office. So we have 5:7 as the men and women ratio, right? And we know that women, total number of women who are working are 56, right? We do not know how many men are working. So let us assume to be, let us take it as m is to 56. So here 5x is to 7x is equal to m is to 56. So this 7x now be equal to 56. X will be equal to 56 by 7, which is 8. So if x is 8, then 5x is 5 into 8, which is equal to 40. See, we know the direct number, how many women are working in that office, and we know the in the ratio part, we know the women part, which is 7x, right? So 7x is equal to 56, and we find out the value of x, and after finding out this value, we just substitute the value of x in the men part, right? So we are left with, we are arrived at 40. So 40 men are working and 56 women are working. So if you again calculate the ratio, what happens? Simplify this, you will get 5:7 as the ratio of men and women. The ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls in a school is 9:7. If the number of girls in the school is 2035, find the number of boys in the school and number of students in the school. So we have boys and girls ratio as 9:7, 9:11, and we have number of girls as 2035. So 11x is equal to 2035, because these are the number of girls. So we must equalize these two, right? The part of the girls here and the number of girls. So x will be equal to 2035 divided by 11, that's equal to, so how to calculate the number of boys? Number of boys is equal to 9x. 9x means 9 into 185, which is equal to 1665. So how to calculate the number of students? Number of students means number of boys plus number of girls. We have number of girls here 2035 plus the number of boys. Boys we have 1665. So the total number of students in the school is 3700. So the next question, The students in 3 classes are in the ratio of 2 is to 3 is to 4. If 40 students are added in each class, the ratio becomes 4 is to 5 is to 6. Find the total number of students in all the 3 classes. Right. We have 3 classes. Let's name them A, B and C. So the students are in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. Right. So 2x, 3x and 4x, right? So this is, and whereas the ratio becomes 4x, 4, 5 and 6, right? 4 is to 5 is to 6 when we add 40 students, right? So 40 students in class A and 40 students in class B and 40 students of class C. So the new ratio is 4y, 5y and 6y, right? So we need to find the total number of students in all the 3 classes. So 2x after adding 40 members becomes 4y. So 2x plus 40 is equal to 4y, right? And 3x, this is for class A and this is for class B. So 3x plus 40 students is equal to 5y, and 4x plus 40 students, right, 40 students is equal to 6y. So just simplify this. So simplify any two equations, right, either A or B or B or C or B or A or C, right, any two equations, and you will get x as 20, right? So if x is 20, then the total number of students is, just substitute x in 2x, 3x and 4x. So this is equal to 9x, right? 3 plus 2 plus 4. So 9 into, what is the value of x? X is 20. So 9 into 20, which is equal to 180, right? So if options are given, you can solve this problem by going through the options, but this is the standard method. And so 180 is the total number of students here, right? So the next question, 2 equal containers are filled with the mixture of milk and water. The concentration of milk in each of the containers is 20% and 25% respectively. What is the ratio of water in both the containers respectively? Right. So we have milk here, right? We have milk and we have water, right? So the concentration of milk in each of the containers is 20% and 25%. So in container 1 it is 20%, whereas in container 2 the quantity of milk is 25%, right? This is container 1, this is container 2, right? So in container 1, if the percentage of milk is 20%, then what is the percentage of water? The percentage of water is 100 minus 20, which is 80%. So in container 2, if the percentage of milk is 25%, then the percentage of water is 100 minus 25, right? So the remaining percentage is water. So the required ratio here is the ratio of water in both the containers respectively. So here it is 80% and here 75%. So just take out the ratio of water in both the containers. So 80 by 75, that is equal to, so on cancellation you will get 16 by 15. So 16 is to 15 is the required ratio. So the next one is unitary method. Unitary method is not a new concept. You learned it in your lower classes, in your 6th, 7th and 6th 8th class or in 9th class, right? But I will explain you one more time in a brief manner. So in unitary method we have two concepts. The first one is we have the direct variation, right? And the second one is the indirect variation. The first one is direct variation and the second one is indirect variation. So in direct variation we have two entities in which there will be a direct relationship. If one entity is increased, the other will also be increased. If one is decreased, the other will also be decreased. For instance, if the price of one book is 10 rupees, right? The price of one book is 10 rupees. What will be the price of 10 books? It will be 100 rupees, right? So here for one book it is 10, for 10 books it is 100. So here the number of books are increasing, right? The number has been increased from 1 to 10, so the price is also increased from 10 to 100, right? So it is a direct variation. What about the indirect variation? In indirect variation there will be, the relationship is in a indirect way. That means if one thing is increased, one entity is increased, the other will be decreased. If one entity is decreased, the other will be increased. For instance, if we have two workers who are working, who can complete the task, any task in 5 days, right? If two workers can complete a task in 5 days, how many days will it take for 5 workers to complete the same task? See, let's say the task can be, let's say the task is to construct a small block, right? So for this construction, these two workers are taking 5 days. So for the same construction of that block, how many number of days are required for 5 workers? So here from 2 to 5 the number of workers are decreasing. Here the number of days or the time will be decreased, because in this case the number of workers are increased, right? So the required time will automatically get reduced. So here what is happening? One entity is decreasing, then the one entity is increasing and the other entity is decreasing, right? So it has got indirect variation. Let's solve some more problems. If 6 notebooks cost rupees 45, how much would 8 notebooks cost? See here, if 6 notebooks cost 45 rupees, right? 45 rupees. How much would 8 notebooks cost? So these are books, this is price. See, for 6 notebooks it is 45 rupees, for 8 notebooks. So how to arrive at the relationship? 6 by 8, right? 6 by 8 is equal to 45 by question mark. So let's take this question mark as x. So cross multiply. 6x is equal to 45 into 8 and x will be equal to 45 into 8 by 6. So x will be equal to 60 rupees, right? 60 rupees is the price of all the 8 books. So in direct variation we will consider the division directly, 6 by 8 and 45 by the required value, right? Whereas in indirect variation, see, this is an example of indirect variation. So if 45 students can consume a stock of food in 2 months, so for 45 students, so this is the students and this is days, right? Number of days. So 45 students, it is 2 months. 2 months means 2 into 30, which is 60 days. See, why I considered 30 days for a month is, this is the standard expression. You may also say that a month has even 31 days. Some months have 31 days, right? But in this question it is not mentioned anywhere, right? So we must consider this. We must consider 30 days a month if it's not mentioned. If it is mentioned that we must consider 31 days per month, then we have to take this. But nowhere it is mentioned, so we must take the standard expression, standard form, which is 30 days per month, right? So for 2 months it's 60 days. And find for how many days the same stock of food will last for 27 students. So for 27 students, how many days? Okay, so here, as the number of students get decreased, the food for the number of days, food for remaining days will definitely be increased, right? So here it is an indirect variation. This one is decreasing and this one is increasing, right? So here take the same expression, 45 by 27 is equal to, you must take this as, if we consider this question mark as x by 60. So in direct variation, what we did is, we directly did 45 by, so if this were a direct variation, we would have done like this, 45 by 27 is equal to 60 by x. But this is an indirect variation, so 45 by 27 is equal to x by 60, not 60 by x, right? So this will be inverted, right? Because this is an indirect variation. So calculate, 27x is equal to 60 into 45 and x is equal to 100. What is 100? 100 days. So for 27 students, the stock of food will last for 100 days. A man working 8 hours a day takes 5 days to complete a project. How many hours a day must he work to complete it in 4 days? So think about it. Is it a direct variation or an indirect variation? It is an indirect variation. Why? Because this man is working for 8 days for 5, he is working for 8 hours for 5 days, right? So 5 days, 8 hours. How many hours a day must he work to complete it in 4 days? So for 4 days, how many hours are required per day? Okay. So if the number of days are decreasing, then the amount that he must invest in working must increase, right? So it is an indirect variation. And how do we proceed? 5 by 4 is equal to not 8 by x, it is x by 8. So x is equal to 8 into 5 by 4. So the final answer is, so what is this 10? 10 is the number of hours which this man must invest, which this man must work, right? Work for each day for 4 days. If you consider this, see, this both will be equal. 5 into 8, what is 5 into 8? 40. What is 4 into 10? This 10. 4 into 10, it will be 40. So these two are same. If he is working for 5 days, he must work 8 hours each day. If he is working for 4 days, he must work 10 hours each day. So that the result resultant won't get changed, right? The resulting value, the output won't get changed. So the next concept is variation. So here we have direct variation as well as indirect variation. But what is a variation? When two or more than two quantities, right, when they are dependent upon each other, and then if any one of them is changed, then the other quantity will also be changed. The other quantity means the dependent quantity will also be changed, right? For instance, if A is in direct proportion, if A is directly proportional to B, then if A is increased, B will also be increased. Whereas in indirect proportion, A is directly proportional to 1 by B. So if we want to remove this, then A is equal to B into some constant K, right? So if we want to remove this proportionality symbol, we must equate this and we must put a constant on the other side. So same applies here. If we want to remove this, then A will be equal to 1 by B into some constant K. So it is A is equal to K by B, right? So we shall solve some problems. A varies directly as B and inversely as C. A is 12, B is 6 and C is 2. What is the value of A when B is 12 and C is 3? Right. A directly varies as B and inversely as C. So A is inversely proportional to C. If we combine these two, A is directly proportional to B and inversely proportional to C. We can write A is B by C, right? So if we want to remove this proportionality, A will be equal to B by C into constant, into some constant, right? Let that constant be K. And here what is given? A is 12. The value of A is 12, B is 6 and C is 2. What is the value of A when B is 12 and C is 3? What is the value of A when B is 12 and C is 3? We have to find when the values of B and C are these. But let us find out the value of K first. So what is the value of A? Initially it is 12. 12 is equal to 6 by 2 into K. So K will be equal to, as K is equal to 4, now let's find out when B is equal to 12 and C is equal to 3. So take the same expression, which is this one. A is equal to B by C into, what is the value of K? K is 4, right? A is equal to, what is B? B is 12 by, what is C? 3 into 4. Now A is equal to 16. So in this case A will be 16 when the value of B is 12 and the value of C is 3. So what we did, we arrived at this relation according to the condition given, and after that we solved and we got the value of K, right? After this we again substituted this with the second conditions and we arrived at the final answer. The coin of a value varies directly to the square of its radius when its thickness is constant. Okay. The radius of a coin is 1.5 centimeters and its value is rupees 2. What will be the radius of a coin if its value is rupees 5? So the radius of a coin is 1.5 centimeters when its value is 2 rupees. what will be the radius? What will be the radius of a coin if its value is 5 rupees? So what is the relation given? The value, let it be V, the value is directly proportional to the square of its radius. So let us assume the radius to be r, square of the radius. So V is directly proportional to r square. If we remove this, then it becomes V is equal to r square into k, some constant. What is the value of V initially? 2 rupees. 2 is equal to, and what is the radius initially? 1.5. 1.5 square into k. So what is the value of k? K will be equal to 2 by 2.25 and k will be equal to 8 by 9. So the value of k is 8 by 9. Now take the second condition. What will be the radius of a coin if its value is rupees 5? So if we consider, so k, as k is equal to 8 by 9, we will substitute here. So as the value is 5 rupees, V will be 5 and radius will be, radius is what we must find, so let it be r square, it remains the same, and value of k is 8 by 9. So r will be equal to 3 by 2 into root of 5 by 2. Why? Because r square will be equal to 45 by 8, right? If we split this, then we will get 3 by 2 root over 5 by 2. Then r will be equal to 2.4 centimeters, right? So r will be equal to 2.4 centimeters if the value of the coin is rupees 5. The next one is problems based on ages. It is better to solve some problems. The ratio of ages of Abhi and Akhil is 3:4. Okay, 3x and 4x. This is Abhi and this is Akhil. 4 years earlier, that means 4 years ago, the ratio was 5:7, which means 5x and 7x. Find the present ages of Abhi and Akhil. So the present age of Abhi is 3x and before 4 years, so minus 4, that will be equal to age before 4 years, that is 5, divided by the present age of Akhil is 4x and before 4 years, that means we must subtract, and the age before 4 years is 7. So cross multiply, we will get 21x minus 28, which is equal to 20x minus 20. So x will be equal to 8. If x is 8, find the present ages of Abhi and Akhil. So these are the present ages. So age of Abhi will be equal to 3x, that is equal to 3 into 8, 24 years, and Akhil, it will be 7 into 8, that is 32 years, right? The age of Sachin is 4 times that of his son. Sachin was 9 times as old as his son at that time. Okay, the present age of Sachin is, so we, let the age of his son be y, right? Let the age of his son be y. Then the age of Sachin will be 4y years. Why? Because the age of Sachin is 4 times that of his son. That means 4 times more than his son. So it will be 4y, And what is the condition here? 5 years ago, Sachin was 9 times as old as his son was at that time. So 5 years ago, that means 4y minus 5, because 5 years ago, if it were 5 years after, it would be plus. But in this case, it is 5 years ago. So take it as minus 4y minus 5, that is equal to how many years? 9 times as old as his son. So 9 times means 9 into y minus 5, right? So here y will be equal to 8, and substitute this. So Sachin's age will be 8 into 4, that is equal to 32 years. This is the age of Sachin 5 years ago. This is the age of his son 5 years ago. That's why we considered minus 5. Why we considered 9 is Sachin was 9 times as old as his son 5 years ago. So 9 into the age of his son before 5 years. The ratio of Varun's age and his mother's age is 5:11. The difference of their age is 18 years. The ratio of their age after 5 years will be, right? So let the ages of Varun and his mother be 5x and 11x, right? So according to the given condition, 11x minus 5x will be equal to 18. Why? Because the difference of their ages is 18 years. So take out the difference. 11x minus 5x is 18, and calculate the value of x. X will be equal to 3. So x will be equal to 3, and we must calculate the ratio of their ages after 5 years. So after 5 years, the present ages are 5x and 11x. So 5 into 3 and 11 into 3, this is 15, and this is 33. So after 5 years, it will be plus 5, and here plus 5. So the final age after 5 years is, final value is 20 years, and in his mother's case it will be 38 years, right? So 20 years and 38 years, calculate the ratio. It's 10:19. So the ratio of Varun and his mother is 10:19 after 5 years. Partnership. What is meant by partnership? So this is a word which occurs frequently as far as business is concerned. So in partnership, 2 or more people will be involved, right? And you also know that 2 or more people will be involved in partnership, and we have two concepts here. The first one is a working partner, and the second one is a sleeping partner. Who is a working partner? Of course, both will invest. So if they want to run a business, the working partner also invests, the sleeping partner also invests. But who is a working partner? So he is a person who directly involved in day-to-day activities of business. Okay, he invests some amount in business, and he also actively involved. Whereas a sleeping partner is the person who invests in business, but he is not involved. He won't do any work in that business, right? So this is the difference between a working partner and a sleeping partner. So both are partners in a business, both will invest amount, but a working partner does the work, a sleeping partner won't do any work. because he might have other works. So let's solve some problems. In partnership, we have couple of rules to calculate the ratios, to calculate the amount of share. So how much share will be divided, how much, in what ratio it will be divided among the partners. So the basic rules are, the first one is, the first case is, we have, let's say we have three partners in a business, right? Three partners, and these three partners invested different amounts for the same period of time, right? So if A invested 10,000, B invested 5,000, and C invested 3,000 for different, for same period of time, to different amount, different investment for same period of time. A invested for 12 months, B and C2 invested for 12 months. So in this case, how is the profit is divided? How is the profit divided? Which one will be considered, in whether investment is considered or time is considered? As the time period is same, investment is considered, so the profit is divided according to the investment. So A gets higher profit than B, and B gets higher profit than C. What about the second case? Again we have three investors, so three partners. So in the first case, we have different investments for same period of time, whereas in second case, we have same investments, 10,000, 10,000 and 10,000 for different periods of time. So let's say for 10 months, here for 8 months, and here for 5 months. So in this case, if we want to calculate the profit ratios, how can we calculate? This is investment, this is time period, and which one is considered, whether time is considered or investment is considered to calculate the profits? In this case, time is considered because investment is common, right? All are investing the same amount but for different periods of time. So here the person who is investing for longer period will get more profit, right? So A gets more profit than B and B gets more profit than C. Whereas in third case, all the partners are investing different amounts for different periods of time, right? So A, B, C, so all are investing different amounts. Let's say A is investing 10,000, B is investing 5,000, C is investing 3,000, and A is investing for 5 months, right? B is for 12 months and C is for 3 months. So this is investment and this is time. In this case, what shall we do and what must we do in order to calculate the ratio of their shares? Here we must consider both investment as well as time. So how can we calculate? We will consider investment into time, right? So in order to calculate the share ratio of these partners, we must calculate investment into time so that we can find out the ratio of their shares. We will apply these rules, these cases so we will solve some problems so that you will be very much clear with these concepts. So let's go to the first one. Banu and Shafiq started a business by investing rupees 36,000 and 63,000. Find the share of each out of an annual profit of 5,500. Right. The ratio of shares here, the ratio of shares of Banu and Shafiq is how much they are investing. Banu is investing that 36,000 and Shafiq is investing 63,000. Okay, so the ratio is 4:7. So how can we calculate the share of Banu? So Banu, right? So 4 by total parts. 4 plus 7 into, what is the total? 5500 is the annual profit, right? So this is the annual profit. So 5500. So 4 by 11 into 5500, that is equal to 2000. This is the share of Banu. And consider share of Shafiq. So 7 by total 4 plus 7, which is 11 into 5500, that is equal to 3500. So we can directly say if the profit, if the share is 2000 for Banu, then 5500 minus 2000, which is 3500 for Shafiq. But how did we arrive at this? So for that, in order to know that, we are solving, right? So here we first calculated the ratio of their investments. After that, the profit that they got, the annual profit that they got, is divided in the same ratio of their investments, right? So the profit is divided in 4:7 ratio. You can also check whether it is calculated in whether we will get 4:7 or not. So 2000 is to 3500. So 4, this 7. So if we calculate this way, this ratio will be equal to this ratio, because the profit will also be divided in this ratio as per the ratio of the investments. A starts some business with rupees 50,000. After 3 months, B joins him after rupees 70,000 with rupees 70,000. At the end of the year, in what ratio should they share the profits? See, what was the case we discussed in previous slides? According to that, this is the third case, right? Because the investment is different, it's not the same, and the time period that they are investing is not the same. Why? Because A and B, so the investment of A is 50,000 and the investment of B is 70,000. After 3 months, B joins him. B joins A. After 3 months means A started, if A started in January, so B will be joining after 3 months. So he will be investing for 9 months and A will be investing for 12 months. If you observe here, the investment is different, the time period is different for both A and B. So how can we calculate the profit here, the ratio of profit? I told you, right? Investment into time. So capital into time. So how can we do here? The ratio of time periods is 12:9, right? So just multiply 50,000 into 12 and 70,000 into 9. So we are just multiplying investment of A with the time period of A, investment of B and time period of B. This is for A and this is for B, and the ratio would be 20:21. So at the end of the year, in this ratio, the profits must be shared, right? Kushal started a business by investing rupees 36,000. After 4 months, Vishal joined him with same investment. At the end of the year, the total profit was divided between them in the ratio 9:7. How much capital was invested by Vishal in the business? Fine. So Kushal started a business by investing 36,000. So the investment of Kushal is 36,000. So he invested for 12 months, right? For 12 months he invested. After 4 months, Vishal joined. So after 4 months means he is investing for 8 months, and we do not know the investment of Vishal, right? So let it be X. This is for Kushal, this is for Vishal. At the end of the year, the total profit was divided between them in the ratio 9:7, right? So here if you observe, Kushal Kushal's investment is 36,000. So 36,000 into 12 months by Vishal's investment X into 8 months will be equal to the ratio of profits, that is 9:7. So just we must calculate the value of X, that is the investment of Kushal. If you cross multiply, the value of X that you get is 42,000, right? So Vishal is investing 42,000 for 8 months, whereas Kushal invested 36,000 for 12 months. A started some business with rupees 26,000. After 3 months, B joined him with rupees 16,000. After some more time, C joined them with rupees 25,000. At the out of a total profit of 15,453, C gets rupees 3,825 as his share. And how many months after B joined the business did C join? Right. So we shall first consider the ratio of profits. So what is the ratio? What is the profit of A? 26,000, and he invested for 12 months. So 26,000 into 12, this is for A. And what is the profit of B? So B invested for, after 3 months means after 3 months means for 9 months, right? So he invested 16,000 for 9 months. And what about C? We do not know after how many months he invested, right? After some time, we do not know exactly. So let it be X. And how much did he invest? He invested 25,000. So we must calculate the value of X here. First take out the ratio. So 26 into 12. So if you calculate everything, you will get 312 is to 144 is to 25x, right? So what is C's share here? This is for A, this is for B, and this is for C. What is C's share? 25x divided by this complete 312 plus all the parts. Calculate all the parts. 144 plus 25x, that will be equal to how much? C gets 3825, right? 3825 out of total profit of 15,453. So just cross multiply and you will arrive at 6. What is 6? What is 6? 6 is the number of months. After 6 months he joined. So after B has joined, C has joined after 6 months. So B has joined 3 months after A, and C has joined 6 months after B. That means he invested for 3 months, right? So C invested for 3 months. A invested 26,000 for 12 months, B invested 16,000 for 9 months, and C invested 25,000 for 3 months. A started a business with rupees 52,000, and after 4 months B joined him with rupees 39,000. At the end of the year, out of the total profits, B received total rupees 20,000 including 25% of the profits as commission for managing the business. What about A? That means how much amount did A receive? So 52,000 is what A invested. For how many months? For 12 months. A invested for 12 months. And B invested 39,000 for 8 months. Why 8 months? Because B joined after 4 months after A. So after A joined, so B joined after 4 months. So 4 months means 12 minus 4. After 4 months means 12 minus 4, which is 8. So calculate the ratio. If you calculate, you will get 2:1 as the ratio of profits, right? So what about B? B received 25% of total profits. So total amount he received is 20,000, which includes 25% of profits as commission. So if we consider X to be the total amount, total profit, out of this 25% is received by B as commission. What about the 75% of the remaining profit? Well, this is received by both A and B in this ratio, right? So B gets 25% as commission, leave about it. But what about the 75%? 75% B and A are getting in the ratio 2:1. So 2:1 means what is A's share? 2 by A, the part of A, right? What is part of A? 2 by total parts, 2 plus 1, which is 3. What is the share of B? Part of B, which is 1 by total parts, 2 plus 1, which is 3, right? So we will calculate what amount did A receive. So here 25%, which is equal to 25 by 100 into total investment, total profit, which is X, plus 1/3, right? 1/3 of 75% of X, and this will be equal to 20,000, right? So he's getting total 20,000. So let's calculate this first. 50 by 100 into X will be equal to 20,000. This is equal to 20,000. So 50 by 100x is equal to 20,000, and X will be equal to 40,000. So the total profit is 40,000, and out of this 40,000, B already received 20,000. So how much A receives? A receives 40 minus 20, which is 20,000, right? So B already received 20,000 of the total profit, which is 40,000. So just subtract 40 minus 20, which is 20,000. This is for A. So this is the concept of partnership, and till now we solved some basic models of all the topics in ratios and proportion. So in the upcoming videos of ratios and proportion, we will delve into level 1 and level 2 problems, as well as the previous year CAT problems, so that we will be accustomed to almost all the models, different models, right? So as far as CAT is concerned, ratios is a must do topic. Do not skip any topic in CAT, right? Any topic in quant for CAT, because we cannot predict the paper. Of course, we can estimate that in arithmetic, from arithmetic, there will be around 12 questions that appear in CAT every year, and in algebra that will be around 8 to 10 questions we can expect from algebra, at least 8. However, we do not know what easy questions come from which section. Easy questions may appear from geometry even, but if we consider history, geometry is the toughest part in quant, when we compare with all the remaining parts like modern maths, algebra, and quant and arithmetic. So don't skip any topic. Of course, we will practice geometry later. As of now, we will finish arithmetic, right? Arithmetic, and then we will go for algebra, and then we move on to geometry, and then to number system, and then remaining permutations, remaining combinations, probability, and remaining, right? So this is our schedule, this is our approach. First we will be solving the some basic problems in the concept class, then we will move to level 1 problems, and then to moderate problems plus the previous year CAT problems. So for CAT, out of 34 quant questions, right, 25% of questions will be of level 1, and almost 40% 40 to 45% will definitely from the moderate level. Remaining percentage for the harder level questions will appear. But if you solve these two, right, if you practice level 1 and the moderate level questions, you will get more than 98 plus percentile in quant. But the problem here is we all focus on the harder part, right? We focus on harder part and we uh, skip the low hanging fruits. So we shouldn't do like this. First understand all the concept, then move on to level 1, then move on to the moderate questions and previous year CAT papers, right? So definitely we are going to achieve that. For Tissnet and remaining exams, for Tissnet, CMAT, level 2 is not required. If you want, you can practice, but the concept class, the basic problems, and the level 1 problems, solving these is enough for TIS and CMAT. For CAT, SNAP, IIFT, for ZAT, remaining level 2, level 1, concept class, these three are highly recommended and must do. So thank you very much. Do practice. We will be giving you the handouts. Practice them, revise, and so you are sorted. So thank you very much and all the very best.